Come on, guys, let's go see this exhibition.
Come on, let's go. I guess. After you, my lady.
Hey guys, look at this mural.
Wow.
Isn't it just beautiful?
It's nice.
Can you see the people and the buildings? Well, these are all landmarks right here in the city of South Fulton.
That's cool.
This mural was painted by Mr. Louis Delsarte, and he named it New Hope Visions. He was a professor at Morris Brown College and Morehouse College, both historic black colleges, until 2020.
Wasn't that just last year?
It was. He began painting at just 10 years old.
That means I can start painting now.
Right. He was a painter, a muralist printmaker, an illustrator. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
He left all this beautiful work for us to enjoy. His works can be found all over the world, but most importantly, right here in our city, the city of South Fulton. He could do it all, and he left this beautiful body of work right here where we can all enjoy it. Do you guys want to go see what's at the art gallery?
Yeah, sure.
I bet you guys don't know who this person is. This is Mr. Hale Woodruff. He is not only a great African-American artist, but he founded one of the first art departments in Southern Black University Way in 1931. This university used to be called Atlanta University when he was there, but is now our famous Clark Atlanta University. Some of you may even go there in the future. Mr. Woodruff is most famous for his paintings, prints, and murals that focus on social injustices faced by black people like poverty and lynchings. In 1942, he established the Atlanta University Art Annuals just for African American artists. His murals can be seen at Clark Atlanta University and Talladega College. His paintings and prints are in galleries all over the world. Oh, here's another great artist. This is Miss Terry Ajili Exum. She is a community leader, certified life coach, and a dedicated cultural arts educator and entertainer. Miss Exum has worked in Atlanta and the South Fulton community for over 40 years and was the first person in the state of Georgia to receive a teacher certification in dance. She even originated a new dance technique called Moja, which has been featured on CNN. Moja is taught in our city and all across the world. Miss Exum was trained by the great Catherine Dunham and other early trailblazers in dance. She received her Bachelor of Arts from Princeton University and her Master's from Rutgers University. Miss Exum also toured as a vocalist and choreographer for the socially conscious hip-hop group Arrested Development. She is still here with us and continues to serve our community with Total Dance Danceicle Productions Incorporated and as the Director of Dance Ministry at the historic Wheat Street Baptist Church. See, these artists paved the way for not only African American visual artists and dancers in South Fulton, but artists of every discipline that live here. Let's take a look at a few.
What does it mean to be a Black artist in America? I think it means that we have a responsibility to archive our culture. The past, the present, the future, the good, the bad, the ugly, all while bringing to life the beauty of it all.
To be a black artist in America. America has been real cold to black folks, indigenous folks, people of color. So to be able to express what we want through our work, that for me is freedom. So to be a black artist in America, freedom. That's where we get our freedom. Peace.
Now everybody in the city should know this famous African American. This is Mr. Donald Lee Hollowell. He was a civil rights attorney in the 60s during the civil rights movement. He sued the state so we could have integrated public schools, colleges and universities, and public transportation. Mr. Hollowell and his co-counsel, Mr. Horace Ward, were the men who got the good Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. released from jail. In 1952, he set up his law practice in Atlanta. In 1966, he was appointed by President Lyndon B. Johnson as the regional director of the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission to monitor discrimination against black people in the workplace. This made him the first black regional director of major federal agency. This was one of many firsts that Mr. Hollowell achieved. Mr. Hollowell worked for civil rights in the state of Georgia until his passing. To honor him, the city of Atlanta renamed Bankhead Highway to Donald Lee Hollowell Parkway. There is also a full-length documentary about him we can watch later, titled Donald L. Hollowell, Foot Soldier for Equal Justice. These are just some of the people who have benefited from Mr. Hollowell's great legacy.
Hey, it's Jamil Jude, Artistic Director at True Colors Theater Company. And what being a black artist means to me is being able to handle the dual emotions of joy and pain and understanding that they are linked in our lives as black people, but still being able to produce art, to survey those emotions, bring out their truth and their vulnerability, and still find ways to thrive and encourage other people to thrive. That's why I love being a black artist and why even in times like now, I walk boldly into that responsibility.
This beautiful queen is the illustrious Miss Emma Darnell, another one of our great civil rights icons. Miss Darnell began her career of service as a public administrator and became the first African American woman to head a City of Atlanta department in 1974. She authored the City of Atlanta's first minority business plan and was the first woman to run for City of Atlanta mayor in the 70s. She was also the founding chair of the Women's Advisory Council of Atlanta City Government. Miss Darnell was an exceptional public servant for the City of Atlanta, and as her time as Fulton County Commissioner, she advocated fearlessly for women and senior citizens. She worked diligently to ensure and protect access to health care and mental health services throughout Fulton County. She made sure people like great-grandma and great-granddaddy had access to the things they needed to live a full, rich life. She also had a featured interview in the well-known civil rights documentary Eyes on the Prize. Commissioner Darnell began her service on the Fulton County Board of Commissioners in 1992, was the second woman elected to the board, and was in her 8th term when the Lord called her home. I imagine he said to her, "Servant, well done," because she was truly dedicated to her community and black people. Now we have the Emma Darnell Memorial Interchange, the Edoris Darnell Center, and the Emma Darnell Museum and Conference Center, located in and around the city of South Fulton, named in her honor. Because of her and others like her, these people can. Take a look.
What does it mean to be a black artist in America? It's just like being a black man in America. But as for me, I walk by faith, not by sight.
Yeah. What is?
I'm sure everyone knows who this gentleman is. It's none other than Mr. Hammerin' Hank Aaron, one of the greatest baseball players of all time. His full name is Mr. Henry Louis Aaron and is one of the most well-known for hitting 755 home runs, but made many more outstanding achievements during his career as a professional baseball player with the Atlanta Braves. What some people might not know is how active he was in civil rights. Mr. Aaron was one of the first African Americans to play for an MLB team, breaking the color barrier. During this time, black people still didn't have the right to vote, sit down in restaurants, shop at certain stores, or get goods. When traveling, he couldn't even stay in the same hotels as the rest of his white teammates. He had to pay for his own room, and he was only getting paid $200 a month. Can you imagine that? Mr. Aaron received numerous death threats and hate mail during his career, but this did not stop him. He continued to break records and barriers for African American baseball players, no matter how much came his way. He, along with his wife, were longtime supporters of the NAACP, and they founded the Hank Aaron Chasing the Dream Foundation to help other young black players achieve greatness. He played his last professional game in 1976. Mr. Aaron was also a savvy businessman, as he owned numerous car dealerships and restaurants in Georgia and the rest of the country. He was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1982. He received the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2002 and the Thurgood Marshall Lifetime Achievement Award in 2005. He continued to work in professional baseball as an executive, one of the first black men to do so, up until his passing this January in 2021. Mr. Aaron was a warrior for his people. He made ready the road for other black athletes to travel down. Check them out.
What is it like to be black in America? That's a challenging question. I think, as for myself, I come from a city in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where I was raised under segregation. I went to segregated schools, segregated hospitals, segregated everything. Fortunately, during those times, you can even go to beautiful Fort Lauderdale Beach. And so I think that to answer the question, what's it like to be black in America, let's deal with the issue of challenging. It's challenging in the fact that you can't get some of the responsibilities, you can't have some of the things that you know you need to have to make an abundant life. But you know, you had family, and those family had big visions for you, allowed you to get everything that you could get, and most of all was an education, so that you could do better. My grandfather was 119 years old, and all my life in living with him, I've never seen him say a bad word about anybody. And that taught me that, you know, even though he went through a lot in his life, being born a slave, that he was willing to move forward and make something for his family. So you have to overcome the challenges. And those challenges will make you and your family whole again if you can. Coming from that type of environment and coming into the civil rights movement, Jim Crow, things of that nature, the thing that kept you strong more than anything was your family ties. Black families were real close. Even though I grew up under segregation, my mother and my father and everybody kept us as children away from all of that. They made us understand those things that you could or you could not do. And they made you understand that for that particular part of time, you were all right with them. But they honestly knew that one day that you would make them different, that you would make them straight. And that's what they believed in. So I guess they protect you safe. Being safe in America and being black is an issue. One, because of the color of their skin, sometimes we are sought out, sometimes we're treated differently. But the bottom line is that we want to be black in America, you need to be safe. Because if you're not safe, if you become the victim to whatever people believe you are, then we have lost something in America. I believe that the cure to a lot of our problems, AIDS, and things of that nature, is in the graveyard. They didn't get a chance to do what they were supposed to do, because maybe they would look a little differently, or they acted a little differently. And maybe what you have just done is you just killed something that God created to make sure that your life is better. So we need to be very careful with what we do. I grew up in a segregated environment. I grew up in segregated schools. I went to a black college and never really had to be in a room, in a classroom with people other than myself, that looked other than myself, until I got into Atlanta Law School. And for the first time in my life, I was kind of, I don't know, we would call it, I felt a little bit inferior for about 5 minutes. Until I heard other folks from Georgia Tech and places like that, and they spoke, and I said, well, wait a minute now, I'm just as smart as they are. And so we have to believe that being black in America, you have to believe the fact that you sometimes, in the words of Dr. Benjamin Elijah Mays, you have to be 7 times better than the next person. Dr. Mays told me that one time, and I didn't realize what that was, and I asked him, he said, because 7 is the number of perfection in the Bible. And so we being black in America is continue to strive for that perfection, you know, no matter where it is or how you get it, and not being delayed or set aside because of what I talked about earlier, the challenges of life that you go through. Can I say being black in America is hard? I think if I had it, I wouldn't have it any other way. Because just the fact of being who I am, and the fact that just because of who I am, I have to fight a little harder than the next person, or I have to achieve a little more than the next person. It makes me a better person as a human being, as an individual, and then as a black person. We as people of my age have to remember that we're here for a purpose, and someone died to give us that purpose, and there's too much blood on the floor for us to be other than what we are, and who we are individuals of excellence, individuals of vision, individuals of understanding. One thing I can tell you about the black family is that the black family is probably the most forgiving family in the world. Through all the things they have come through, their religion and their ability to forgive has brought us to this place where we are now. Where are we now? We're with Kamala Harris. We're with Raphael Warnock. Even with Bill Edwards. Because of the type of education and type of upbringing that we got. I want to say with all my heart that being black in America was a great trip, was a great experience. And to a certain degree, it is a great experience because you learn from your past, you learn from the commitments that you had and you didn't have, but you overcame. You achieved higher, you achieved greater. And that to me makes it a great experience. So where do we go from here? You know, Bill Edwards has been around for a while. All of us don't have the same experience of being black in America as I did. Some of the kids today never knew Jim Crow, or never knew segregation, or never was a child in that period. But it's our job as adults, those who come through that process, is to teach others, not so much about you have to go back there, but to realize that the blood on the floor was for you, and that you have to move forward positively, and let folk understand that you're not going to be left behind because of the color of your skin. The centerpiece, the cornerstone for being relevant and being black in America was the mother. A black woman who fought more, had to fight more than even the rest of us to make herself known. But the black mother has always been the pillar of our community. You'll find people like me that'll always say, my mother told me, or my mother did this. Here's a woman who had to endure 400 years of oppression, 400 years of being abused, and things of nature, but she has been the cornerstone of keeping the family together. And so the experience of being black in America has a lot to do with the mother who raised you. And so I say all of this to say, am I ashamed to be black? No. Matter of fact, I'm glad to be black in America. I am committed to doing better than I have with those who come after me. And black in America is a great time because we had to pave our own way. No one gave you anything; you paved your own way. And when you come from, Jim Crow to the White House, when you come from a little boy in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, who was raised in the projects, who came to Atlanta and became a commissioner over 1 million people, and later become the first African American to lead a new city in the state of Georgia. Couldn't have done it without my experience as being a black American. Couldn't have done it. Those experiences invited me to be who I am today and allowed me to go forward. So, to the kids out there, to people that be black and proud. Be black and committed. Be black and honest. Bishop Elijah Mays also said to us a long time ago, no matter what job you get, you do it so well that no man, living, dead, or yet to be born, can do it any better. That's my commitment to being black in America.
Did you guys have fun today?
Yeah.
Did you learn something about your history?
Yeah.
See how much black excellence we have in the city of South Fulton?
Yeah. We are the future. We stand tall for justice and for all. We are the world. We are the future.